Jai Hind students, how are you? I hope you all must be fine and practicing your daily work at home. Okay, so in our series of tenses, today I'm going to tell you about the future tense. So let's start. Future tense. Future tense is used to express the action or event which is likely to happen in the future. And the words to express or denote the future which we use are, you all are aware, will and shall. Okay, future tense, just like other tense, also have the four subcategories, that is future indefinite tense or simple future, future continuous or future progressive, future perfect, and of course the future perfect continuous. Okay, so let's begin with the very first form, future indefinite. Future indefinite or simple future. It denotes and express an action or event which is likely to happen in the future. Let us go with the structure of the tense. What will be the structure? I am going to tell you. It is subject plus the plus the auxiliary verb will or shall plus V1 and then object. Very simple, isn't it? Okay, let's frame one sentence and then it will be easy for you to understand. Subject, he will come today, or she will play cricket. I hope it must be clear to you. These are the example of simple future affirmative sentences. How to make the negatives? Just see here. He will not come today. She will not play cricket. What we have done? After the helping verb, we have added not into it and our sentence has become negative. So he will not come today and she will not play cricket. These are the example of negative simple future. How to frame the interrogative? Quickly let's have a look. Affirmative, negative, and interrogative. Will he play cricket? Will she, make it will she so that it will be easier for you. And will he come today? So this is our future indefinite used to denote the future actions which are likely to happen in the future. The words which we will use with it, will and shall. Structure, subject, will, shall plus V1 plus object. And here are our three categories: affirmative, negative and interrogative. I hope it must be clear to you. Let us move to the second part. Okay, so moving further to the second form of the tense, we have the future continuous tense or the future progressive tense. Both are same. Okay, so where do we use the future continuous tense? Right, we use the future continuous tense to define an action which will be happening at certain point in future. Let's begin with the structure. Okay, the structure is subject plus will and shall plus be plus V4. As I already told you, this V4 means the base form of the verb, that is V1 plus ing. So it makes V4. Okay, so this is the structure for our future continuous tense. Okay, future continuous tense, as I told you, used to define an action which will be happening at certain point of time in the future. Let's take an example. Let's say she will be coming. Example, she will be coming at 7 today. Okay, she will be coming at 7 today. Future continuous tense we also use for some sort of announcement, like in trains, in metros, in airplanes. The announcements we made always in the future continuous tense. For example, a pilot might say the plane, this plane will be landing at 7 in the evening. Fine. So the future continuous tense is used to define an action which will be happening in the future at certain point of time. So a pilot might do an announcement like this plane will be landing at airport at 11. Fine. So making announcements and for telling about some certain actions which will be happening in the future at certain point of time, we use the future continuous tense. Okay? So how to make the negatives? Negative, she will not be coming at 7. Okay, this be will always be with the V4. And how to make the interrogative? Will she be coming today at 7? So this is our future continuous tense. Now let us jump to the another form of the tense, that is the future perfect tense. The future perfect tense. Where do we use future perfect tense? Future perfect tense is used when an action occurs in future before another action took place. Let us move with the structure. The structure is subject plus will or shall plus have plus verb third form. This is our structure of the future perfect tense. Let us move and see some examples. For example, I will have finished studying by the time you will arrive. I will have finished studying by the time you will arrive. Let us take another example. example, and it can be she will have reached home by now. She will have reached home by now. So, this is about our future perfect tense. This is the structure. This is how we are going to frame it. And I already told you, it is used when an action occurs in future before another action took place. So, it is very important. See, this action happened in the future before this action took place. Okay? So, this occurred first, this occurs second. Two actions are happening. So, you have to be very careful while structuring or framing the sentences in the future perfect tense. Now quickly move forward to another form of the same tense, that is the future perfect continuous tense. Now next, the future perfect continuous tense. Where do we use the future perfect continuous tense? It is used to express an action that will have been going on at or before some point of time in the future. Now let us move to the structure or rule, how to frame a sentence in the future perfect continuous tense. The rule is subject plus will or shall plus have been plus V4. Again, V4 means V1 plus ing. Now let us see some examples. We shall have been waiting for you for a long time. How to frame the interrogative? Will they have been taking the test for a week? And how to make the negative? The boys will not have been flying kites since noon. So have you noticed that this been verb is always with the V4? Whether it is an affirmative sentence or an interrogative sentence or a negative sentence. You can see here been taking. You can see here not have been flying. So we shall have been waiting. It's clear to everybody. Now will they have been taking? That is also fine. But generally we do mistake while making the negative of the future perfect continuous tense. The boys will not been have flying. Sometimes we write this way, which is not correct. Okay, so be careful. The boys will not have been. Not will come first and then have been. Okay. Normally speaking or frankly speaking, the future perfect continuous tense is hardly used nowadays. So this is all about our future tense, but still.
Okay, continuing with the series of our future tense, let me tell you a bit about the difference between will and going to. Today I'm going to talk about will, won't, going to, and not going to. So, when should you use will or won't, the negative form? Or when should you use going to or not going to? So, I'm going to talk about a few of these points, a few basic points that I hope can help you decide when to use will and when to use going to. So, let's begin. Okay, the first point I want to talk about is going to or not going to, the positive form and the negative form. So, if you make a decision, you can see here the first point, plans decided before the conversation, there we use going to. Plans decided before the conversation, there we use going to. uh, means if you make a decision about your future plans, or say someone else makes the decision before the conversation about their plans for the future, you should use going to or not going to. For example, let me tell you in more detail. You decided you decided it before the conversation, meaning you have probably had some time to plan your future. So please use going to for something you decided before the conversation. So means where the plans decided before the conversation, there we need to use going to. So on a timeline, it might look like this. Let me show you a timeline. Let me make a timeline. Here it is past, here it is now, and this is our future, right? Okay. On a timeline, if I'm going to describe this thing, so let's say this is somewhere you're going to you are going to act in the future. You plan for a thing, and you plan for the thing here in the past. You have planned for that thing here in the past, and this is now. Means this is your conversation. This is your conversation, which is now. So now you're doing this conversation, you're talking about your future activity, and you have planned for it before in the past. This is how it can show on a timeline. So you planned for some activity in the future. This is your activity for which you planned here in the past, and this is your conversation time moment, that is now. So here in this case we are supposed to use going to or not going to. Is it clear? I hope it must be clear. So it means your plan is for the future. Your plan is for the future, yes, but you decided on the sometime before the conversation. So if this time is just now, so there we are going to use going to and not going to. I hope it must be clear on a timeline. At the beginning of this video, I said I'm going to start it about my plans. I said I'm going to. At the very beginning of this video, I said I'm going to teach you future tense. Means I have decided before the video started about my plans. I decided what I was going to talk to you before the video started. That means I have done my preparation, my planning before this video started. Okay, so there where we have done our planning before our conversation for the future, there we use going to. So use going to in these cases. Is it clear where to use going to and not going to? Now will and won't. Where do we use will and the negative form won't? Will is the positive form and won't is the negative form. Okay, will not is written like won't. Will not is written like won't, right? So where do we use it? We use will and won't for the decisions that are made at the moment of speaking. We use this for the decisions made at the moment of speaking. Means no planning was done before time, before our conversation. There we use will and won't. Will is the positive form, won't is the negative form. You can use it. Let me give you where we can use this will and won't. You can use it in restaurants. You can use it to talk about plans make quickly after reading a menu or a catalog. Okay, so there we use will. Will is used, let me say, will is used for a plan made spur of the moment. Spur of the moment means a very quick plan you have just made at that moment. Okay, there we use will. So now let me show you some sentences and let me guess whether you can tell me the correct answer or not, where to use going to, not going to, and where to use will and won't. Okay, come to the very first example sentence. Maybe dash go hiking tomorrow. Okay, uh, if you can see the very first letter word, maybe. Maybe means not a very certain, high certainty is not there. The means there is not a very good chance of this plan is going to happen. So here it is, maybe. Maybe something go hiking tomorrow. So maybe when we have used this word here, maybe, now please guess what should be here. Maybe I will or I am going to go hiking tomorrow. What it would be? So here it will be maybe he will or I'll go hiking tomorrow. So that shows that it's not sure and I have not even decided. So that's why it's I'll. Coming forward to the second sentence, I am. Oh, you got a very good grammar hint here by this word am. Still, let me complete. I am dash go to France next year. See, going to a new place like France, do you think that you can make this decision at the very same moment and then you can pack your bag and baggage and you can move to France? No. Shifting to some place or going to some another place, another country, takes a lot of planning before it. Okay, so here that means the action is pre-decided. It's pre-decided before my conversation. So here what we will write, I am going to go to France next year. I hope it's clear. Okay, moving forward. Okay, now moving to the third sentence. I decided. Again, you got a hint. It's decided. I decided that I am something go out for dinner. I am too tired. So again, this word is giving you a lot of hint here. I decided. So what should be here? Going to or well? I decided that I am not going to. That I'm not going to go out for dinner. I am too tired. Okay, so the next sentence I included because I think it's a really good one to remember. Anytime you visit a guest or restaurant, some kind of service situation, you can use this pattern specifically to make a request. So let's take a look. I something something have a glass of juice, please. In this case, maybe it's a restaurant. In this case, you have just made the decision after looking at the menu, looking at a catalog, you made a decision just then at that moment and you're asking for that item. So we'll use here what? Now you must have guessed it right. What we are going to use here? We are going to use here I will. I will have a glass of juice, please. So it's all about how to talk about future tense plans. So I'm going to finish the lesson now. I hope that you enjoyed this lesson. Thank you. We'll see you soon. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you.